Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? That's one of the most painful and most controversial statements Jesus made while on the cross. It's been debated for centuries, fumed over for centuries, wondered about, wrestled with for centuries. Was Jesus really abandoned by his Father? Or did he just feel abandonment and forsakenness in his fully human side of his being? People say, well, doesn't it say that the Father turned his face away? No, the Bible doesn't say that. A song lyric, very popular song lyric, says that, and we sing it, and so we get it into our DNA. It expresses something of the depth of Gethsemane and the cross that our Savior endured for us. But I'm not going to get into the whole controversial side of that today. What I know is that Jesus went through hell and high water to save my soul. He went to the depth of despair, and he went through the cross, and he took my hellish punishment for me. However you want to look at what that punishment might be, whether it's just separation from God or it's a burning fires of hell type punishment, whatever you think. I don't have to face it because Jesus suffered in my place for my sins. I don't think he could be eternally separated from his godness, the divinity that he was fully God with. So how that all worked and pieced together in the mystery, it's beyond me. But you know what? I don't have to figure that out. I know it was a very deep, deep valley of the shadow of death that Jesus went through for me. Charles Dickens, he wrote about the valleys of life, the vast valley of the shadow of death, when he wrote the book David Copperfield, and he described David Copperfield walking through this vast valley when he was grieving the death of his wife, Dora. And it was such a dark, dark place for him. And it was a shadowy valley. So when we think of the valleys of our lives, we might remember Psalm 23 that does say, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear. For you, O God, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. But what Christ experienced on the cross that day was the sense of total abandonment, so that we would never have to experience that. We would never have to endure that feeling of it even. His obedience meant his death. Our obedience means life in him eternally. It was a dark, dark day when he cried out those words, my God, why have you forsaken me? But it was a bright, bright day for us. There's a good reason we call Good Friday, Good Friday. Whenever we find that we ourselves are in this terrible place, a headspace of feeling abandoned or feeling forsaken, we can remember that, no, Jesus was forsaken for me, so I wouldn't be forsaken. We can take heart in the promises that he is with us to the end of the age, every step of the way. When we walk in faith, he turns our valley of Achor, as the Bible calls it, which means disturbance, or pain, or dread, despair. He turns our valley of Achor into a door of hope. How does he do that? It's amazing. It's impossible, but he's the God of impossibilities. Hosea 2:15 says, and there I will give her vineyards and make the valley of Achor a door of hope. And there shall she answer as in the days of her youth, as at a time when she came out of the land of Egypt. From out of slavery into freedom. And you know what else? You know what the Bible calls Jesus among many, many things? The Bible gives this title to Jesus in Song of Solomon, actually, 2:1. It says, he is the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley. He's the lily of our valleys. He's the bright spot in our valleys. So tuck into him if you're in that place of feeling like you're in utter despair. He's been through it all. He knows the path. He can light our path, show through his word a light unto our path. Tuck in close to him because he knows the way through, and he is walking with you through the valley of utter despair. He's been there, done that, and he's been to the other side, and he's now holding your hand to go through the valley that you might be going through. Trust him in this valley.